Lots of tartan, Joe.
I can't get my virtual camera to work, I think. With WebEx. All kinds of fun things planned.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the green screens there.
Yeah, it's magical when it works. Now it's just behind the scenes.
You've just destroyed the aura now by showing it's just a green sheet. Yeah.
It's the most wonderful thing, though.
Oh, good.
Brian,
though.
you are now the host. Did it give you a notification?
Shelley. Yep. I'm going to just do a. I'm just going to do a test on my. On my. Press. So just hold on, and I will get that all thrown up. Oh, not yet. Hang on. Let me share. Should be good at this by now. How are we doing? You got my screen there?
Yes, sir.
I see it.
Yep, looking good.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Jump on
that's cool then. I'll stop the screen sharing for a bit because we don't need that for now.
Looks like you're good to go, Brian.
Yep, all set. Hey, Alex, how are you?
Hi, thanks. Fine.
Good, good. Thanks for coming along, mate. We appreciate it a lot.
Oh, it's a great honor for me to be in Scotland today.
Joe was just saying that a few hours ago, weren't you, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we could all share pints.
Guys, I need a few minutes to test my audio system and microphone and camera.
Sure.
Okay.
You're looking and sounding good though, Alex. Looks all good from this side.
Okay, Brian,
Thanks.
I'm going to jump off.
Okay, thanks, Shelley.
Have a great meeting, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Sally.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, do you hear me well?
Yes.
Loud and
Crystal
clear.
clear, mate.
Okay.
Want to try a screen share, Alex? Just to make sure it's good.
Is it okay?
Just coming up just now.
Yep.
Yes, all good.
Yeah. Okay. Invalid visualization is not good. Okay.
Well, we have you on second, Alex, so you have a little bit of time if you need it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
I think that is the selection bar that's along the top. If you click the icon, it's to tell you can go grab that one. He has some low bandwidth. Is that what that's saying?
Oh.
You're still sharing your screen. Just so you know.
Looking for the phone, yeah.
Maybe while we're waiting for Alex, if you want, I can try to share my screen as well. Just double check.
Yeah, give it a try, Joe. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Share. Two. Second screen sharing.
All good. Yep.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So to those who are joining, welcome. Oh, are we echoing? Folks, please make sure you mute when you come in.
You've got quite a bad echo this night when you're speaking.
Yeah, there's a few that weren't on mute, so we'll just keep an eye on people as they come in. So thank you for everyone that's joining. You can see we're starting to fill up now. We usually start at about 3:05, so we've got another 5 minutes yet. So all good. We have all our presenters, we have all of our co-captains, so we're in good shape. Guys, when you're entering the meeting, please remember to go on mute if you're not already. Thank you very much. So we'll start in just under 5 minutes, guys. Just under 5 minutes. Oh, I see a lot of names that I know on this list. This is good. I think we must have picked good speakers because they didn't come for us, that's for sure.
We're all here for Alex.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm here
All
too,
you brought
right?
so far is a green sheet, Joe. So yeah.
Yeah.
Superb. You just reminded me that I don't have a drink, Joe, so I'll be right back. Oh, I meant to say, George, are you all good with the thing that we talked about earlier? We were discussing earlier.
Yes, Brian, all good.
All good? Cool.
Not sure if I can speak about it for 5 minutes, but I can certainly certainly give everyone a good tour.
Yes, that sounds great. All right, nearly there.
You can always get Joe to do a review of it as well, George.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm able to open myself to that kind of scrutiny.
That would be pretty harsh. That would be pretty harsh.
I think Joe would be kind, but
Yeah, I hope so. What do you think, Joe?
Joe's got no idea what we're talking about. All will be
No, he hasn't. That doesn't help him much, does it? Because he's got no idea what we're talking about. So, yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to pop the screen on and share my screen. There we go. And then this, and then this, and then that. Okay, someone give me some comfort that we're seeing a slide now. Okay, great. George and Andrew, can you check out the muting situation as we go along, please?
Yep.
And George and Andrew, are you all set now? Are you all good?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect. All right, here we are, guys. It's Friday, and that means only one thing. Every second Friday, it's Qlik Virtual Meetup Scotland, and it's episode 8. So how does it feel to be at episode 8, boys? Because this lockdown seems like a long time ago since we started this process, and we're now, what, again, by my primitive math skills, that makes us 16 weeks in. It's pretty mad. That's pretty mad. So, but here we are for episode 8. Now, this is partly based on something that Joe posted earlier. So he posted a little picture of Link with the Master Sword. So this is the Master Sword / Master Branch edition. And if you know your GitHub, you know what the Master Branch is. If you know about Zelda, you know what the Master Sword is. If you know about neither, you're about to find out all about those things. So that's what this edition has been called. I'm here with George and Andrew, my co-captains, and we are in episode 8. We literally, before the show, just managed to get the link for episode 9 organised. So if you want to join us for episode 9, you can register with the tinycc.qvms EP9, and I'm sure George or Andrew will pop that in the link in the chat for us in a bit. So, big episode, this one. We seem to say that every time, but we've got 2 incredible speakers again. A little bit of intro and a few announcements to make for us. And then we were very honoured to bring on Joe Warbington to learn how to make your data talk. I think pretty much everyone in the room hopefully knows who Joe is at this point, but if not, we'll have a bit of chat before his session, and we're really looking forward to see very much of his Visual persona. We're going to see and the types of things that he's been working on. Then if he doesn't answer all of your questions, he'll get to answer them afterwards, so it should be pretty cool. Keynote number 2, well, again, we're really pleased to kind of bring a technical element to our session as well with Alex Polorotov, who's been working on his GitoQlik solution for Qlik Sense source control. So I know this is a big issue in a lot of organizations that I come across. We're really looking forward to seeing it, hearing a bit more from Alex about how that solution is progressing. Should be a lot of fun. Because that's what we're all here for, right? We're all nerds and we're all here for fun. So Alex will get Q&A'd after that, led by the amazing Andrew and the fantastic George. And then we've got a few announcements to make before we close. So that's kind of what we've got lined up for today. Hope you enjoy it. Just a quick cursory note to my outstanding team that I work with. We're Virtual Meetup Scotland, running, like I say, for 8 sessions now, 16 weeks over lockdown. My name's Brian Booden. I'm a multiple-time Qlik luminary, and I'm the managing director of DataGlow IT. But this is probably my most fun side project that's going on at the moment. So it's great to be here again, kind of fronting up the episode. Without further ado, I'll kind of stick it over to George and Andrew to say hello as well.
Thanks, Brian. My name's George. I think most of you know me now. If there's just 2 or 3 names that I don't recognise here, but welcome anyway. But for everybody else, nice to be here once again. Wow, 16 weeks. It's amazing how time flies. This is the 8th episode, and it feels like the momentum's still there. No sign of us slowing down yet. And as Brian was saying, we've got a surprise for everybody. I don't know if we could call it as much a surprise. Don't want to build up the suspense too much, but something that we've been saying we've been going to be doing for weeks and weeks now. We've finally gotten around to doing. But I'll let Andrew say hello first before we steal the thunder. Before I steal any more thunder. Andrew, over to you.
Okay, thanks, George. So I'm Andrew. I'm a service delivery manager at Differentia Consulting here in the UK. Obviously, I work with Brian and George on setting up these events. Looking forward to this one. 2 great speakers. I know Joe really well because I've been working with him on some customer projects, and we both took part in the first Qlik Data Unplugged event with Kate Strachney recently, which was awesome. And I've been following Alexander's work very closely on LinkedIn and speaking to him about GitoQlik. I'm a big fan of version control for Qlik, so I can't wait to see his latest version of this software as well. So great event ahead. Hopefully everybody will enjoy it. Pass back to Brian.
Thank you very much, Andrew and George. It goes without saying that you guys are linchpins of this setup that we have here, so thanks very much for your efforts, and looking forward to continue this great adventure that we are on at the moment. So speaking of great adventures, we had another one last week, although I think I may have got the naming wrong. I may have forgot to name it to episode 7, so there's the first deliberate mistake. But we had Nick Webster and Mike Tarallo last week, and again, if you're in Qlik circles, you know exactly who these guys are. But Nick Webster runs Websy Limited, Mashup, and Web Integration Specialists for Qlik, and Nick took us into his box of delights, showing us kind of the things that are possible when you harness the power of Qlik and combine it with the power of web and CSS and JavaScript and all that cool stuff. He also took us into a journey of his beer history, which I'm not so sure was relevant for everyone, but you know, it was still pretty fun anyway. And Super Sensei makes sense face, the kind of NLP engine that he's been working on as well. We then kind of moved over to Mike Tarallo, who gave us kind of the rundown on Qlik CLI, and I've modified the casing so that it's now all lowercase, as Mike pointed out to me at the time last week. So hopefully that's all good. But basically, command line interface for SaaS version of Qlik, pretty awesome stuff. And if you want to catch up on that recording, I have managed to update the link correctly at least, which is QVMS EP7 rec. So we look forward to sort of catching you there if that works for you. So this is George. This is your bit coming now, just so you've got a bit of warning. So coming very soon. Well, it has been coming soon for a while, but we're actually here with it right now. The Qlik Virtual Meetup Scotland website is here at last after a lot of work from mainly George, I have to say. A bit of chat about our latest episodes and session recordings, their mailing list, and I'm just really going to pass it over to George to talk a little bit more about the Qlik Meetup Scotland website. So George, it's over to you.
Well, thank you. Can I share my screen from here? I think I can.
Yeah, I've stopped sharing now.
There we go. Right. Yeah. So we thought long and hard about a name for this website, and we came up with qlikmeetupscotland.co.uk. Actually, I tried to get the .scot top level domain, because in Scotland we do have the .scot TLD for us, but unfortunately my registrar of choice was not selling it, so we're going to have to stick with .co.uk, but I think it works. So this is now just a home that will evolve for us over time. We've now got a place to advertise our next upcoming meeting. So here you go, Joe and Alex, your center stage on the main page here. We then have a little bit further down, we've got a link to our to the newsletter, so our MailChimp newsletter that we send out every 2 weeks, and then a list of all the previous meetings. We've got there are 7 previous sessions. This is number 8. I've got number 1 on. The rest are in progress and will all be up there tonight. But just to give you an idea of what's in here, we've got the main speakers, a little bit about what they talked about. Further down, we've got the actual recording of the actual session that you can watch at your leisure, and the actual presentation. We've also we get quite a few questions and comments on the when we're running these, and we're not always able to answer all of the questions during the session. So we've got a space down here that's going to be added where we actually write down the questions and ask the presenters to answer these as well. So that'll be there for everybody to read in the future. And then finally, we're more than happy to receive further comments on these pages. So that's up and running now at qlikmeetupscotland.co.uk. We've also got a little page just talking about the 3 of us, which again might evolve over time. I'm conscious that we should probably put a little bit about what QVMS is as well, and how that came about, rather than just our own 3 pretty faces here. So that's Qlik Meetup Scotland. Finally, now we have a place to put all of our videos, our presentations and content, and to advertise the next session. So right after this one, we'll have the next session up and running in the centre here. So that's us.
Nice demo, George. Thank you very much. Elegantly done. And thanks for your work on the website so far. Like I say, this will evolve. We're pleased to get it all up to date. Any questions, just ping us. And if things don't work, A, expect that, and B, just get in touch with us and let us know. Thanks, George. Awesome.
Thanks, George.
You're welcome.
Credit to FDI Consulting as well, because obviously they provided some resourcing for this.
Well, they did, and I haven't. There's a couple of the actual templates here were put together by Anna, who's our UX designer in the team. So thanks to Anna for putting together the slides. I don't think she's on this session today. She's away busy designing a SharePoint site of all things, the various things that we get involved in today. But yes, we did have help. I can't take all the credit.
All right, nice one, George. I'm gonna share now. Hopefully, get us back going again. So let's see if I can get all this running up. Right, here we go. Any second now. Any second now. So. Steve mentioned the doorbell earlier. Ta-da! There we go. There was your doorbell for today. Was Qlik Meetup Scotland website. So that's enough about us, frankly. We'd like to focus on our presenters now. So first we've got Joe Warbington. So like I say, probably most people in the know Joe. He's a VisLib guy, he's a healthcare guy, he's a Luminary guy, he's a Qlik guy, but most importantly, he's a Triforce master. And if you would like to throw up the first page, that will all become clear, Joe, I'm sure. But we're delighted to have you, mate. Thank you very much, and we'll pass it on to you.
I really wish that I could be there in person, obviously. When you guys started launching the meetups, Claudia knows this, I saw her on the line too. I'm like, I'm going to try to go to every meetup I can around the globe if VisLib will pay for me to go. And then I'll go visit customers around town too. So yeah, I've been doing a little bit of this data storytelling around the globe. I tried to pull some of my latest stuff, especially based on having Mike Torello on for the last episode. Gave me some good inspiration for some video game stuff. And, here we have Sven, who, these things were going for a pretty penny at one point years ago. And so maybe we'll do a little raffle or something too. You guys can throw out a name. And I think I can find a box of a few more of them. And we have the old ones too that say Qlik and not just the new logo. But I get to have a lot of fun. playing around with data and joined VisLib almost a year ago now from Qlik, and worked with a lot of customers on the healthcare front, as you mentioned. So I want to take you through a little of that. Not many slides. We're just going to play around in some apps. And I'm going to show you how I follow some data literacy best practices and then completely break them just to have a little bit of fun with Qlik Sense. It's a little bit, if you're not sure who I am, I graduated from Michigan State with a degree in computer science and engineering. Led me into some work with NASA, where I was working on robots that were going to go to the moon and later to Mars. They tried to send me to Antarctica, and I didn't want to live in Antarctica for 2 years without access to, well, they didn't have really Wi-Fi that much then, but the internet, calling home, visiting. They said, you're going to basically live on the moon for 2 years with a bunch of old scientists. I said, well, maybe I can do something else. So I found this company in Madison, Wisconsin, which is where I moved from Michigan. And we're known for the Cheeseheads, our football team here, American football. And the Green Bay Packers, they love to wear cheese on their head. So I became a cheesehead many, many years ago and worked at Epic, which is a big healthcare software company that's now doing a lot of work internationally. So much of the NHS is now starting to roll out Epic as well. And that's the patient record system. I was doing analytics there and learned a little bit about Qlik and how they were able to run circles around what we were doing with reporting and dashboards inside of a tool many of you might know, Business Objects and SAP and Crystal Reports. I started back when it was Seagate, and it was owned by the hard drive company with Crystal Reports. And so I've learned a lot of things over the years about how to present data and how not to present data, and how much time you can spend in a report. So when I found Qlik, it was like light bulbs just going off, and the amount of time I'd saved. I almost cried multiple times when I realized how fast I could do things in Qlik now. And I think many of you have had those moments where you're like, thank goodness you found this tool that can do so many things. And at Qlik, they really unleashed a beast with me on Twitter and LinkedIn, and I've posted a lot over the years. And I think that's helped to build some communities as well. It's factored into, obviously, the very big healthcare community that maybe a number of you have been a part of, and then worked with Mercy Ships and MedAir, and that's my little, CSR helmet that I wear. And working with Andrew lately was a really great visit back into working in that space with Mercy Ships. And then I came over to VisLib from Qlik. Now, I'd been trying to join you guys that are Qlik luminaries for multiple years, and I couldn't get anybody to break the rules at Qlik to allow me to become a luminary while I was at Qlik. They're like, employees are not eligible. And I said, when I leave Qlik, can I become a luminary? And they're like, you're going to have to do stuff, but maybe it's going to be tough. And I said, I'm going to do my best. So I became a Qlik luminary, and that was one of the hardest things I think I've ever done, is that application, trying to figure out what did I contribute that was not my job at Qlik, that was related to the Qlik ecosystem that all the luminaries are responsible for. And the meetups, I owe a lot to like Claudia and Chopin for allowing me to come down to Atlanta and share things like in between my time to give me a little bit of fodder for my application there. So having a lot of fun. And, at VisLib, just so if folks aren't aware, we build value-added products for Qlik Sense. Everything we do is around that, adding in, obviously, visualizations, which I think is what we're most known for with the library, giving you a whole tool set. If you come from the QlikView world, it's like Photoshop, but you're missing some of those features perhaps in Qlik Sense. That's what we generally add back in. And then we do have additional tools and capabilities that are becoming much more known around self-service, where we acquired the Climber extensions last year. Those have been pretty great time savers for folks. And then I've been spending a fair bit of time lately, if you've been following me, on the right back side that we put into collaboration. And just real quick on VisLib, it's like a rocket ship. I joined with 30 employees less than a year ago. We're over 70. We're going to hit 100 by the end of the year is what Martin and the team are telling us. And we're having fun just, opening up new opportunities and use cases for customers around the globe. So if you ever have any questions, I'm not on the sales team or anything like that, but I can help with those things and grease some wheels for you if you need help understanding how it gets licensed. But I love to build stuff. So that's really what I want to spend my time on today with you all, is showing you some of the things that I built and have fun with, and not make a commercial for anything, but show you what we can do with Qlik Sense. So this quote I take with me a lot of places. In God we trust, all others must bring data, from William Edwards Deming, who was a statistician and mathematician. And I think it's a great quote for one, but people just getting into the data field think, oh, all you need is data. It's just ones and zeros. It's what you do with it. It's how you communicate it. It's the context. So I always like to add, if you're going to bring data, at least make it a good story. People have to be able to consume this stuff. We're not all data scientists. And I'm definitely not one either. So I try to dumb it down for myself where I can and find the interesting nuggets in the data. So I, over the last week, tried to figure out what I wanted to share. And, Brian, you set me up with some things around healthcare and video gaming. So I'll do a couple of these. It's not just 3. I think I probably got 5. I have thousands of applications we could probably talk about, so that's always the toughest part. So we'll start with one around room cleaning, and having a 2-year-old who maybe a few of you have seen in the background. Andrew sees him quite a bit. He runs through my green screen, which unfortunately doesn't work on WebEx. I had some things planned for you, but my 2-year-old has toys everywhere. But this really isn't about that. This is about hospital room cleaning and how important that seemingly, kind of behind the scenes type of role is in a hospital, and how critically important it is to the operations and health and safety. And so we'll talk through a use case there. And what I want to do is take you through where it started from the beginning to how they're using it today, and showing you that kind of visual journey. The next one, somebody published this a long time ago when there was the battle between the two products, right? It still comes up today. We have a lot of people that just are diehards for QlikView and what you can do with it. So this is kind of a two-pronged thing. I have a comic book, a number of comic book related applications, but I took some to heart and try to see how we can make it a really fun story using data. So I want to take you through a few of those. And the last one for the retro gamers. And I'm not sure if Taralo's on the line, but at one point he printed and gifted me this NHS controller or NES controller that has a USB. You can hook it into your computer and play around with it. So he got me hooked on some video game data a while back, and I have a new version of one. And it's a sneak peek because I'm still working with Mike on it for a future session that he has. But we'll dig in there and have some fun with some video game data. Sound good? So we should be in Qlik now. And what you see is, we'll just maximize this screen, is good old spreadsheet, Excel. This is how this one hospital was running their room cleaning operations. Tens of thousands of rows, Excel spreadsheets that would break if they looked at more than a month of data at a time, telling them how many minutes it took for a room to be cleaned in a hospital, and who worked on it, what was the reason for delays. A very rich set of data, but all tracked and managed in Excel, which meant they were, they were behind the scenes. It was taking them a month to get any of the data out because they had to try to analyze it in Excel. And so they really didn't know where they could find opportunities. And the EVS manager, or environmental services, was tasked with finding those things. So they knew what like the average time was going to be to turn around a room, but they had no analytics to truly understand what was going on. So first quick pass was, let's take all the data. We don't just want that one spreadsheet. We want all of your data that we can get from the system. Let's pull in multiple years. And let's see how you're doing. So, really quickly, within minutes, we were creating calculations on the fly. How long does it take to turn around a room? How often are you hitting this SLA? Only 58% of the time. are you hitting your particular goal, which is 75 minutes. They have to get a room clean in 75 minutes for the next patient. And how many requests and housekeepers. And you can see the normal ups and downs in the line chart. But to somebody that hadn't used analytics, this is like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. I'm glad you can tell me these numbers. And I know we have bad days and good days. Well, what does this actually mean? What is a good day? What's a bad day? So our next step was, let's make that line chart a little bit more interactive and colorful. So now I think everybody on the line, even if I didn't tell you what was going on, these big red X's, that's bad. We know we shouldn't be in that range. And then we put the trend line on there, or the reference line for the SLA of 75 minutes. A little bit better. We can see, you know, for this period of time, or maybe some others, you know, it's over that 50% in some cases where it's bad. But let's pull this together. Let's see, where are we finding insights? We just know there's good and bad days. Here's where we start using some additional visualizations and getting away from just tabular data. So we worked with them and created their own KPI. It was that really big number before, but now we took and combined it. So they can actually glance up on a big patient monitor that they have on different floors in the hospital and see, we're at 72 minutes, our SLA is 75 for turning around a bed. And this gauge on the outside shows us how often we're hitting that goal. And if we were to pick a certain combination, can't ever remember which one it is, we might get that KPI to flip and show us its big red number now. We have an issue. It's taking 87 minutes, you know, for this particular set. And it clues them into what's going on. They can glance up, and they're refreshing this now. It used to be a month, remember? They now do it every 15 minutes. And so, you know, add in Qlik alerting now and things like that. They can get pinged when it hits the number, but everybody in the hospital can walk by and see how long it takes to recover and clean rooms. And then on this side, I really like bringing along this time-based data into a heat map, not just for the one kind of dimension of the average turnaround time, but also to use Qlik and bring together staffing levels. So completely different data in a different system. Qlik's great at pulling it together, but how do they match up? I think everybody can kind of see there's an intensity here at this hour, which means we have the most staff here at 2 p.m. And then right at 3 p.m., it drops off a cliff. And isn't that interesting that the amount of time it takes to turn around a room starts to become even more intense or higher right when that staff is dropping off? And so pulling this together, the director said, without any other, you know, analysis, I know what we need to do. We need to change our staffing model and stagger our staff, or maybe have a better overlap. There's a handoff issue here with third shift taking the evening. And that was the first time they'd ever really seen that. So a really fun app just to kind of bring together, but maybe a lot of you are wondering, like, what was that really bad spike of a day? And so we'll use Qlik storytelling to take you through that. And this is something that they actually delivered to their board. They're showing them all the analysis. Everybody in the room was like, what's this? Why is that so high compared to everything else? And let's drill into that day. And we can see all these housekeepers de-identified to protect the innocent, although they weren't really that innocent in this case. But all of these housekeepers on that particular day, December 8th, which was a Saturday here in the US, all of these housekeepers were taking far longer. Some, like Daryl here, he was taking over 223 minutes to turn around a room. And he had a fair number of requests. So patients were waiting for rooms. They were not getting in there. There's issues with patient safety there. In the US, there's a lot of financial implications for that. You know, we're trying to get butts in beds here in the US. And there's what's going on from a management level. So it turns out on that day, which was a Saturday, it wasn't anything special in this particular city. They weren't going through a major crisis or anything. It turns out that there was a really interesting football game going on that day between the customers or the health system's main team, because they were a university system, and they're arch rivals. And so at this point in time, there was a really close game, and we were able to get into the data and show that as this game was pretty close and another team was getting close to tying it up, the average turnaround time was over 350 minutes for rooms. And this was potentially the housekeepers hanging around in the rooms, watching the patient screens, watching the game. And, this particular time was incredible. They had never seen this before. They knew it was a bad day, but they didn't know why. And so the director said, "Can you give me those names of those people?" And I thought we were going to get a lot of people in trouble for that. He just said, "Well, I'm going to ask Daryl and Cynthia and Olivia to take the day off because the next time that team plays, because we know they're diehard fans for football, and they should just go watch it in a pub or stay home. And the rest of the housekeepers can make sure we keep our numbers down to where they should be at acceptable levels." So it was a really fun use case, kind of bringing together all kinds of things visually, but also external data, sports schedules. And when you think about healthcare, there's a lot of factors going on, and I think we're all living and breathing that right now with COVID. But I wanted to grab a really interesting use case that I think is a fun story here. So the next one, we work in some different areas, and this is a little bit of that Qlik view, Qlik Sense type of transition and having control. The logo is taken off the website. This is not City's actually app or anything like that. It's just an example, but they wanted a particular look and feel, and I think this is something that's similar to folks in the Qlik view world of having a sidebar, color coded. We have tabs along the top and some really interesting mini charts in the tables and things like that. But my favorite part of this is something that came from a sports application that we created, which showed players on a soccer field, on a football field, and then later on an ice rink for a hockey game, and showing the players' movements in relation to one another. So while I was having fun building that, it actually became very applicable to other industries, because let's say we wanted to look at real estate as a particular sector for investment. Here's the scatter plot. When I click on our scatter plot, we're actually able to move the data between different years and see it in relation to the other movements, the other sectors. In sports, we use it to show player movement relation to one another. But I think everybody probably has a use case where you're used to, looking at a scatter plot and then picking a different year or month on a filter. In here, you can just interact with it and see those dates change and see data related to one another. And how did things move over time? And I waste so much time, I think, playing with these snail trails, but they they add a whole new level for me to how the data is moving in relation to one another, rather than just, it's in an Excel spreadsheet and it was up this month. Why? What happened? How did it move in relation to others? So these are the types of things I get to play around with and then have actual use cases that are in industries as well. Just double checking my time, because really I'm here to see what Alex is doing with GitoQlik. So we're gonna trudge through a few of these. The next one is the comic book related stuff, and this one is another one of those. What I could do in Qlik View, I couldn't yet do in Qlik Sense until I got a few more skills. And I go in, my method is to go find interesting looking visualizations and interfaces and get out of BI a lot. Let's look to the movies. Let's look to comic book movies. How does Tony Stark and Iron Man look at data? And he has this like Jarvis interface, right? And while this might not mean much to us, it might mean a lot to like Tony Stark as he's like interacting with the data. And this is, a visualization that is a set of multiple visualizations. It doesn't follow any best practices at all. Some might say you should have never done that. When Steve, I think, was talking about donuts and pies, or Stephen, a while back, I was thinking, I can't wait until he sees this monstrosity that I created. But it was just to see, can I do this? This is actually all one object. I can right click and expand it if we want to. I'm not sure if it's completely responsive, but this whole object here is a set of multiple layers of visualizations and different KPIs. And that's the fun part to me. There's nothing impossible with Qlik. You just have to push it in some areas, and you can get to very interactive and fun types of visualizations that you could only see in movies. So I love spending time on these types of things. I took this one step further, and I was thinking about not just displaying the data, but how do we interact with it, and trying to come up with some new ways. And the Marvel movies have been pretty big inspiration, and I try to take some things there because they were something a lot of people had seen, and we can get data on like the most popular comic book or superhero movies over time. And I highlighted the Walt Disney Company and Marvel and how they just shot up and have been really successful, right? And you can see their data, and we have a couple different things, but what if we interacted with this differently? So we're looking at this particular view. If I change over to on the gauntlet, I'm going to click on one of the infinity stones. It's going to change the interface. It color codes it all red. Maybe I now have, I'm going to move my image out of the way, a bar chart now that shows me release dates and where Marvel and Walt Disney have been just taking the market share of these types of movies. Or I might click a different stone and have a completely different type of visualization. So I'm interacting with these things differently. Having this interface draws people, I think, into the visualizations and into the data more, makes it much more exploratory. We have different types of things like a timeline that we're looking at here. But you have to be really careful, right? Because if you're familiar with the movies, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything, if you accidentally snap, you can lose 50% of all movie sales ever. And there's a tremendous amount of money here, billions of dollars that were lost if you're not careful. So we'll go back and get all our money back. So just be careful with the Infinity Gauntlet if you do put it into your applications. And then this last one, it's been a little pet project of mine. I'm just really starting with this one in a video game kind of collection tool. Pulled in 57,000 games that I scraped off of this website called VG Charts. And they rank games, but they also tell you how many units were sold worldwide. And visualize these things. I don't think this looks too different than what everybody's used to with Qlik. We can drill down into maybe one of my systems that I started with, the Atari 2600. We'll see some pretty familiar games out here: Pac-Man, Pitfall, Galaga, Galaxian. They're all there, and I can add them to my wish list, or say, I remember playing this with my mom, back when I was growing up. So that's how I've been using the app. But I came up with, I think, a different interface, and it's going to be fun. I'm going to have a couple different things, I think, with Toralo as well. But what if, like, the Nintendo Switch was your interface to Qlik? It comes with some great buttons, so maybe we just want to interact with those things. We can use the over arrow. We can move between visualizations. Maybe I want to see that information that was within the application, like the most popular games. If I hit the home button, it's going to make a selection into Nintendo for the developer, and be more contextual and allow me to go back and forth. I can also interact with it at these different levels or clear my selections. So the Switch now becomes an interactive tool, and this one visualization has multiple layers. A little secret sauce here is maybe what you guys have done in QlikView or some other things is using invisible layers on things to create buttons like you would on a website. But there's no JavaScript, CSS. I'm not a whiz at that stuff like Webster is. So I try to do things in the interface of Qlik and get to what I think can be a pretty fun interface to interact with data and pull people in. So, I think that's really what I wanted to share, was just, you can push the boundaries even within the tool itself. And I'm always happy to share anything that we built. Have many different applications that we've built over the years, and I love building new things. So Andrew knows that. I'll jump on a call and we'll diagnose something and build something from scratch. And that's the stuff that keeps me going and is a creative outlet for one, but also I think maybe gives people another way to think about how to use Qlik. So with that, I'll just bring this over so folks have my contact information. If you don't already have it, I'll send over these slides too, or anything people want to download. We can get over to the new site that I'm pretty excited for you all to have with QVMS. And we can open up for questions a little later. Is that right?
I think we'd probably take questions just now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's one just come in, Joe,
Sure.
from Francesco. It's asking a question that we see this sometimes quite in a few of the presentations around mobile. What are your thoughts on, obviously, your expertise applying the same principles to mobile deployment? Or do you just let it work out the box and let people use Safari, or do you build mobile apps?
It's, you can take an application, view it on a mobile phone, no problem with Qlik, but that experience is so different, especially on a small device like a phone. The tablets, I think, are very comparable, and that's been actually fun to sit on the couch and like design an application on the iPad. But when I'm designing on the phone, I'll use the two screens within the application. I did that actually to develop that Nintendo app. I'll have it open on a separate screen if we duplicate it, and just kind of shrink this one down and grab another sheet. So while I'm developing here, it's actually editing the one over here. And so I'll have them side by side, and you have a little bit more control over those things that way. And Qlik's added in some really nice things with like the turning off responsive mode. So you can make a really tall and skinny application and design it for that. And then use security rules to understand if the user is on a mobile device versus the desktop. And that's, I think, the only way we're going to get more people to be more comfortable using analytics like on the fly in their pocket. But there are some better visualizations, I think. And you got to understand the workflow. So if like the healthcare systems, the doctors would love to pull up the patient's record, search through data on their phone. This is the video game stuff, right? But then when they go back to their main application, their desk, it's already narrowed into what they were looking at. And that experience, I think, is pretty seamless and actually something that I don't think the other BI tools can do, which is it truly is one application, multiple sessions, and trying to exploit that type of interface can be really fun and interesting for the users.
Okay, thanks for that. I mean, it's good as well. Francesco mentioned as well the challenges around Qlik competing with Power BI and Tableau in this space. I mean, do you and VisLib work with other BI products, or is it just Qlik?
No, but I will say we, a lot of the things, I get inspiration from everywhere, and I don't know if anybody's on the line, but that's fun. I took like Tableau's conference and I made an application and I branded it with some of our stuff. I made it look like Tableau to the point where Tableau thought it was Tableau, but it was actually a Qlik application. And it had the circles instead of the dots for the scatter plot, which is one of their out-of-the-box features. Pretty easy to change that in some of our charts. And I think it's the CTO at Tableau shared my analysis of their conference on Twitter. And I was caught aback, uh-oh, I'm not trying to pull the rug out from anybody. So I didn't go, oh, I got you, it was Qlik. I just kind of sat back and let people talk about it. And so I in that sense, leveled the playing field. You can do whatever you want. You can make these things look exactly the same. Ultimately, then it just comes down to the experience and how valuable it is to that person that's using the data and the interface, the experience they have. So, you can go toe to toe with any of the BI tools out there. And, Qlik is a development platform. So we spent a little bit of time learning design, which is what I do at VisLib. We have 2 product designers and I spend time with them every week. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. How am I using colors inappropriately? Where should I put the buttons on this side versus this? And the flow of an application. And those are little things, but it becomes really important for adoption. So if you can find a designer friend or steal stuff from Dribbble or Behance, like all these design websites, find your favorite website and the experience they have, you can recreate that stuff in Qlik. And it's like a little bit of that phase 2 of an application. It'll go a lot further.
That's an awesome story.
That's fun.
I think you've opened a can of worms there, but
yeah, I don't know if anybody from Tableau is on the line, so sorry about that if I was tricking you. Yeah.
So thanks, Joe, for that.
Okay.
We can take more questions later if you want, and obviously we're going to have the website feature as well, where we can take questions, and people obviously feel free to reach out to Joe on LinkedIn and by email if you want to speak to Joe about his work.
Yep. I saw a quick question come in. What's that game controller background? This is our KPI designer that allows you to have multiple layers. So really, I just have this console image in the background, and then I layer over buttons and visualizations. This is a container, and use variables to go back and forth. I think I saw some recent posts about variables, and you get a handle on that. You can change the experience in Qlik Sense pretty quickly. Cool. So yeah, I'll be around for additional questions. Throw them in the chat too, but I'm going to be paying attention to Alex, and I want to learn a lot more about GitoQlik.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Joe. That was great. I think we'll hand over to you just in a second, Alex. George, any comments? Are you good?
Just, I'm inspired now. I think even just bringing in some of the graphics that you have and getting a bit of color in and some visualizations that people can actually associate with, then you're moving away from a boring dashboard to something that now it inspires user engagement. It's fantastic. I've had my eyes open. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, George. I appreciate that.
All right, that's pretty cool. Thanks for that, Joe. That was awesome. I'm not sure if I'm lagging a bit, but I'm gonna hand over to Alex in just a second. Here we go. We'll get his bio up here. So, oh, my monitor's been disconnected because I have moved. So,
Here we go. That's it showing now.
There we go. Good to go now. So this is going to be very brief, but I'm going to hand over to Alex Polorotov, who I kind of tapped up on LinkedIn a few weeks ago when I saw the amazing progress that he'd made on his GitoQlik Qlik Sense source control solution. So without further ado, Alex, we'll hand it over to you because Joe is eager to see what's happening.
Okay, thank you, guys. It is so exciting for me because it is something like BAFTA or Oscar ceremony. Because of I feeling like that I'm accidentally on BAFTA scene, and there are many famous actors, actresses, directors, and they are looking at me and want to see something from me. So. Thank you for invitation. It's a really great honor for me. So I start to sharing my screen. Do you see it?
Sure do.
Okay, let's start. So, as Brian said, I'm Alex. I'm from Kazakhstan. I'm co-founder of Datanomics Pro, a consultancy firm that have strong focus on remote Qlik services, and I'm founder of GitoQlik. GitoQlik is easy to use version control. But before I start to show a live demo of GitoQlik, I want to synchronize our mindsets, and I want to start from many years ago when our team was strong focus on web development. There are many cool tools, cool stuff in web development. For instance, for source version control, you could use Git or SVN. For code package management, you have NPM, you have Maven, Ant, and other package management solutions. And when in 2015 we started to developing in Qlik Sense, it was a very big surprise for me that I haven't got any inbox tool for version control and for code package management. But we are humans and we have a very good ability to adapt for any situation, in any situation, and for any environment. So we said, okay, we need to copy our application and call it dev copy. And if you want to something like version control, you need to copy your copy and the next day you need to copy of your copy of your copy, and so it happens. And after 9 circles of dev copy hell, we start to thinking about how to bring to the Qlik community the easy to use tool for version control and for sharing the best practices. So, and there are 2 concepts, main concept. The first concept is video game concept, where you could save any progress at any time, and you need to have unlimited slots for it. And we need to bring that concept in Qlik Sense application. I strongly believe in cloud idea because it is the part of self-service BI. So the second part is easy share. We need to provide to every Qlik developer easy to use tool for sharing their best practices, their templates, visualization templates, and we need to make it something like NPM in Node.js, for example, where you have search form, search input, where you could type name of the package and get it and reuse it in your application. So 2 simple concepts. And that's why we did GitoQlik like Chrome extension. We are working on Mozilla Firefox extension now, but now we have only Chrome extension. So, and what is really GitoQlik and how does it works? It works like a simple proxy, local proxy. There is no any third-party service. GitoQlik connects through Qlik Sense Engine API and Qlik Repository Service API, connect to your Qlik Sense server, and just serialize your visualization objects, your load script, and store it into the any of Git provider from the right side. It could be GitHub, Bitbucket, or GitLab. Any Git provider. You could use cloud Git provider, and of course you could use your local Git provider. For instance, if you have your local Git provider, your local GitLab server in your company, you could connect GitoQlik with local GitLab server and your Qlik Sense enterprise server, and it will be work fine. So let's start the party. So I just create new application. Let's imagine that we have new client now, and oh, sorry. So we have a new client now, and he want to make a P&L report. But I'm a very lazy man. I don't want to start from scratch. I want to reuse my previous application that I was developed for my previous client last month or last week. So as you can see, there is only one section with load script now, it's main section, but I want to reuse load script from my previous application. So for doing that, I can press on the icon GitoQlik on the right side of top right side of my browser. So, and let's connect to our Git provider. So we are using Leonardo UI because we want to make our user interface the same like you see in Qlik Sense. And we're starting to use Leonardo UI for that. So at first, we need to choose server type, GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket. In my case, I'm going to use GitHub server. So in that form input, I must to type a URL to my server, and it will be api.github.com because of I use cloud version of GitHub. So, and the second, you need to paste your user personal token. So let's create new personal token. Okay, we're now in GitHub page. And let's press generate new token and call it Scotland meetup. Okay. We need to select scope. We need repo scope and press generate token. After doing that, you see that there is a new token. Let's copy it and return back to our, oh, sorry, to our, oh my God, how to do it. Okay. Okay, I copy my token and let's paste it. And the third option that we need to choose, new repository visibility. It has only two options, private and public options. Private option mean that you will create only private repository that your team will access, get access, and only your personal account. Okay, and the next option is use organization repository. It means that we have our organization account in GitHub that called Datanomics Pro, and there we can choose our organization. I have two organizations, but in our example, I want to use our Datanomics Pro organization. So let's press test connection button. And as you can see, there is a message successfully authenticated as Schatzbitten. And let's press save button. Okay, so, and now we could to continue our demonstration. We want to reuse our load script from previous application. For doing that, we need to go back to GitoQlik and press this select repository input box, select box. So, and you could see there are many folders there. You can see Rob Wanderlich repository. I will show you this repository later. But now I want to reuse my application, my finance report. Of course, Vizlib, because I really love Vizlib. Vizlib extension is always in my videos about GitoQlik. So because Vizlib is amazing. Okay, let's.
I didn't pay Alex for that. I just want everybody to know he's just saying that out of the kindness of his heart. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So what we see in there? We see many tabs. Each tab is section from my selected application that called Finance Report with Lib. So I want to import every section from selected application. That's why I need to select every tab there. We're working on comfortable button that will select all sections, but now I haven't got that. So that's why I need to select every section. Okay. After doing that, we press import button, and as you can see, there is GitoQlik detect conflict. Tab with name main already exists, and there you could see a simple div viewer that show us what difference we have in our versions, in our local version of our section main, and with version of that section in our selected repository, in our selected application. So, and we have three strategies: keep current version, local version of main tab, overwrite from repo, or keep both and rename one of them. Let's select the third section, the third strategy. And you see magic there, because now we have many tabs that we have selected a few minutes ago. And there are two tabs, main and duplicate of main. So we could see in main and in duplicate version, and for example, I want to delete that version and load data, because I want to start my work with visualization layer in Qlik Sense. Okay, as you can see, finished successfully, and let's go to the visualization. So, as I said, I'm very lazy man, and I want to reuse not only load script, I want to reuse my visualization from previous applications. And I want to reuse again my previous application that called Finance Report with Leap, and let's waiting. Okay, and GitoQlik loaded every sheets from that applications that I selected. And now we could select, for example, this dashboard and that dashboard. Okay, and press import sheets button. So after doing that, you see that everything okay. And when you open your sheets navigation menu, you could see that there are three dashboards there. And if we go into the first, we see that there are three visualization objects there. I have a problem with my internet connectivity, so that's why it is so slow. Okay, so we have three data visualization objects, and let's go deeper. I want to show you that that not only sheets were imported. GitoQlik imported master items too. Because GitoQlik detected that in our selected sheets there are many master items that link it with that sheets, and without that kind of master items, dimension and measures, visualization won't work well. So that's why GitoQlik imported master items too. And of course, if you have variables in your sheets that you use in any of visualization object, GitoQlik will import that variables too in your new application. So let's create new repository that will call Scotland tab, and press create repository. So after doing that, we see that GitoQlik successfully created a repository in GitHub and generate URL. We can go to the GitHub. Okay, and you see new repository was created successfully. It is private repository because we have selected private scope. So, and you see that there is README file with information about your application, Scotland app, and information about author. So, and you see mess in your about section because of GitoQlik store application ID in that section. So let's revert back and let's commit our sheets, new sheets in the repository, because now we have only one file, README file, and we want to commit our visualization objects and our load script in the repository. First, commit. Press commit button. Okay, it's success. Nice. So, and let's go to the GitHub page again, because we have two folders now, objects folder and data load script folder. Okay, in data load script folder, you could see many QVS files. Each QVS file contain a load script from a section in data load editor. And in the objects folder, you could see many JSON files. Each JSON file linked to the object. You can go into sheets, JSON, and you see JSON representation of your sheet. Yeah. So what we could see there, we see location of each object, we see another information, etc. Okay, let's go back. Okay, now we have repository, we have commits in our repository, and let's start to change our application and save versions of our application. The first change will be about that dashboard. Let's delete two KPIs from there. Okay. And press down button. So, and let's apply new thumbnail for our dashboard. For doing that, we could go into edit mode, and there is a magic button that called set a screenshot. So if you press that button, you see thumbnail assistant with one red button. If we press it, tada! You see that thumbnail that GitoQlik made a screenshot of your page that you was located in and applying as thumbnail. It is a real-time saver for every Qlik developer, I think, because it is so exhausting to make screenshots and after that upload into the Qlik Sense and after that apply as thumbnail. Okay, so and let's save our change in repository now. Thumbnails edit. Okay, and commit, and press commit button. So what we see now, we see that there are three versions of our application, and you could see peel there, black and green peel that contain information about change in every version. If we have committed change in load script in app objects, the peel will have two color, black and green. And if you commit only up objects changes, the pill will be green. I will show you it later. So we have another version of our application with thumbnails and without any KPI objects there. And for example, we want to revert back for our previous version of application. I don't know why, I just want to do it. Okay, go to the first commit. GitoQlik show us model window that we trying to revert back. Let's press update button. Okay, and as you can see, every image is reverted back. And if we go into PNL pivot with top dimensions, nice title. Okay, you see that there are 3 visualization objects there. Okay, and when we go back to the future, like Marty McFly, we just select the last version of application. Oh, I want to show that there is label with numbers now. On the icon, you could see number. What is it? GitoQlik tell you that you are in the out-of-date version of application, and there is one updated version over your selected version. So that's why we want to go back to the future. Yeah, and KPI objects was disappeared. And our thumbnails are here. So we our travel to the back to the future successfully done. So let's. I want to show you another ability of GitoQlik. So if you use, for instance, let's select year field and choose field settings that will call always one selected value. Okay, and let's drag and drop. Okay. So always selected value here. Let's commit our change again. New version, and press commit button. So now we have another one version, and let's go back to the first commit. Oh no. Okay. What is it? I have the developer version of application of GitoQlik, so that's why we have bug. Let's refresh our window. And try again. If you will install GitoQlik from web store in your Chrome, there is no bugs like that. Okay, let's try it again. Oh yeah, I want to show you another one new feature that will come in soon. So if you have local change in your application, GitoQlik detects it too and provide to you 3 strategy. You can commit and update your local change, or you could update with and lost your local change. So we could press that button. So, and we reverted back to first commit. And as you can see, there is no always one selected option. And there is no, and there is no our new sheet. So let's Back to the Future again. I just want to show you that always one selected value work well. And okay. So we have traveled back and always selected works fine. So the last amazing feature of GitoQlik is Git branching. I want to show you how to work on the application when you have 2 or 3 developers and every developer need to work in isolated branch of your application. Okay, I need to refresh my page. So let's imagine that I'm the second developer. I'm not Alex anymore. I'm Marty McFly, and I want to copy Alex application called Scotland app, and I want to create new dashboards there. Okay, let's waiting for Okay, so let's press duplicate button. Also, you could, of course, duplicate application in QMC. Okay, so I have many experiments there, you could see. So, and we want to go into Scotland app, duplicate. Let's open it. And I will show you that GitoQlik automatically detects that you are in the copy of your main application. Let's press GitoQlik. And you see that GitoQlik found a repository for the master Qlik application from which current application was duplicated. And there is existing repository in GitHub. So that's why GitoQlik provide to us create branch, not create repository, just create branch in our existing repository. So let's call it dev2 branch. So branch creating process. Okay, after doing that, you see label branch and you see link to our repository in GitHub. It's the same repository. I could show you. Oh yeah, I want to show you our auto documentation function. We generate a table of contents of your application and generate and paste title of the sheet and description of the sheet. Okay, it's the same repository, but we have notification in GitHub that dev2 had recent push less than a minute ago. Okay, because we created new branch. So we are in duplicated app, and let's to create new dashboard, new great dashboard. Test. Okay, and now let's to add some visualization objects there. KPI object. USD amount. Okay, and let's make a thumbnail. And let's commit our changes into repository in our isolated branch that call that we called dev2. Okay. Up a new dashboard. So our change is in the branch now, and let's go to our main application. And I want to show that there is no any new dashboards there, but we could fix it. I will show you how to fix it. So let's add a new edit sheet in our main application. For doing that, we go to the GitHub page. Let's go. There are two branches in our repository, and let's press compare pull request button. So in compare pull request button, we could type our release notes. New great dashboard, amazing dashboard, edit, and blah 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 blah. Okay, let's press create pull request. So if we have many developers in our team and we have data architect or team lead, we could add him into our reviewers, and only reviewers will have ability to press merge pull request. Merge pull request merging your development branch with master branch. So let's press it. The first merge. Confirm merge. Okay, merging. And pull request successfully merged and closed. So after doing that, we could go to our main application. And you see that there are 3 updates now because we have merged the dev2 branch with our master branch, and all changes was linked with our master application. And the last version called the first merge new great dashboard. So let's go to the last version. Okay. So, and there is a new great dashboard there, and it works perfectly. And just now we merge 2 branches. So if you have 3 developers in your team that work together on the one application, you could divide your development process for each developer and then manage it transparency with GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket. The other feature that I love in GitLab, GitHub, or Bitbucket is issues page, because if you have some requirements from your customer or clients, or you find the bug, you could create new issue bug and please fix it. And we can choose label, submit new issue. And we have number 2 issue in our repository. So, and what we can do with it? If we delete sheet from that because it was our bug, let's commit change and press and type the second issue there, and tell GitoQlik that there is it will only app objects. Fix it. So it is just linked to our issue in GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket. So press commit button. And if we go to our repository, now we see that there is one commit that link it to our issue. Oops, sorry. So, and after reviewing process, team lead could type another requirements or already everything okay. Oops. Yep. Commit. And of course, he can close issue. Okay, so let's go back to our presentation because I need to share with you our roadmap. So we are working with continuous integration and continuous delivery process. To be clear, it's just about moving up between environments. If you have 2 or 3 servers, the first server is your dev environment and the second server is your production environment. You just you can use GitoQlik, and after that we have GitHub Actions, GitLab Runners, and something in Bitbucket. I don't know how does it call in Bitbucket. And what is GitHub Action and GitLab Runners? So it is a small server-side application, your runner, that could connect with your servers, your dev server and your prod servers, and when merge successfully done in GitHub or GitLab, it automatically triggered moving process from your dev environment to your production environment. If you haven't got in your production environment the new streams that you have created in your dev environment, it will create it automatically, and your application will automatically moved from your dev environment to our prod environment, prod server. It could be done because we store our information about our application in JSON files and in QVMS file in your repository. So we also want to deliver to Qlik community a tool for testing, for data testing, for verification process, of course automatically, and we of course want to deliver some another tools for continuous integration. I think we could integrate in our development lifecycle Butler. It is Sense Ops application. I think you know it. Goran made it, and I think we need to integrate to link that together, our solution and other solutions that could boost development process for Qlik community. So if you have any question, I'm ready for answering.
Awesome stuff.
Thank you.
So one question to get started came in from Pedro around security, and I know George replied, but can you talk about the security that lives behind your Chrome or your Chrome plugin, I should say?
So Chrome plugin is simple JavaScript code that executing only on your machine. And there is no any connections to third-party servers. It connect only with GitHub, only with GitLab, and only with Bitbucket. So and there is no any third party between them. There is no any man or in the middle. And when I publish a new version of GitoQlik in Web Chrome store, Google auditing my source code. And there is no any code injection in your web page because Google can detect that kind of injection, and they could switching off your extension from Chrome.
Okay. And I think as well, George mentioned in his response, and I wanted to ask the same question, you don't have to commit your changes directly into the GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab server. You can do it on a locally cloned repository. Is that right?
It is complicated question because now you can't because we use API with API of Git providers. We are working on Git local commits and Git local revert backs, but now there is no third option. We just use API of GitHub API, GitLab API, and Bitbucket API. So every change, every commit will push to the server, to your Git server.
Is that something that's on your roadmap to look at?
Yeah. We have it in our roadmap. It is a part of our CI/CD feature.
Good stuff. George, do you have any questions that you want to ask?
I think George might have just popped onto another call, Andrew.
Oh, okay. My other question I was going to ask was obviously that Qlik are moving a lot of their strategy to Qlik SaaS just now. Are you hoping eventually to have this certified in some way as a product that?
I'm going to. I want to have a trusted extension developer label, and I'm working. Our team are working on it process, but there is a complicated question because when they saw our work, our solution, they said to us that, oh, sorry, it's not a simple Qlik extension. I don't know how to manage that process, how to give you a trusted extension developer, because in our process we haven't got anything like your solution. If you know or could help me with that process, I will be very appreciated.
Good stuff.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I think there was another question came in there about Pedrasta again. Can you edit the .git attributes to use any Git extensions?
Git extension. What does it mean, Git extensions?
You mentioned GIST. I'm not familiar with GIST.
GIST. Okay.
Perhaps we can pass that one on offline.
Yeah, we can answer it offline if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So I don't think about it, but if you share your idea, I think we could to think about it and add it to our roadmap.
That's great.
Great.
I think
guys.
Brian would possibly want to wind up, and certainly we always encourage people to reach out offline. Do you use a Slack channel? I know you.
Oh yeah. I want to share with you our. So we have docs.gitoklik.com website, and there is many articles about GitoQlik, and we have Slack channel. So you see link there. You can move to the Slack.
Okay.
And so Okay, and you see our GitoQlik workspace there and our channels.
If you could share these resources to us, we can put them onto the website beside the presentation.
Okay, yes, no problem. Thanks.
So thanks for that. Thanks, good session. Really interesting stuff.
Thank you.
Yes, that was superb, Alex. I think there's a lot of people who are kind of knocking their heads together now at the way that they are working with duplication of apps in Qlik Sense. So this looks like a great solution, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of follow up. And it was great to have you. It was a great demo as well, pretty much flawless. Brian Munce would be proud. He really would.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot,
Just
Alex.
like the Back to the
Thank you,
Future
guys.
notes as well. That confused things.
Exactly. All right, let's see if I can just get my. I'm just gonna wrap up now, guys. Very quick screen back up here. My goodness, it's all going crazy now. So our next, you know the cadence by now, I'm guessing that we're every 2 weeks, so that makes our next session on Friday the 31st of July. And this is the bit where we normally do massive reveals on brilliant new guests, but I'm sure you would like to know who those new guests are, but so would we at this point, because we've been working very hard on the website and lots of other logistics in the background for QVMS. So you just have to trust us that our pipeline is still strong and we are still moving on this. And we sincerely hope that you can join us on QVMS EP9 in a couple of weeks' time. All that remains for me really is to say thank you very much. We appreciate you sacrificing your Friday afternoon / morning with us. It means a lot to us. We hope to see you in 2 weeks. Andrew, do you have a few words?
Yeah, not just a repeat of the thanks to both presenters, and look forward to the next sessions. And obviously, please do follow up with Alex and Joe if you want to engage with them directly. They do contribute their time, and it's only fair, I think. So thanks all.
Yeah, absolutely right. I'm going to assume that George is still on his call, but if you do want to drop us a line and let us know how we got on with this session or any others, we'd love to hear from you on QVMS opinions on Tiny CC. Otherwise, all that remains to say is thank you very much, chaps and chapesses. Have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Alex and Joe, especially. That was wonderful, guys. Thank you.
The guest has finally appeared, Joe.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, this is my second developer that I really need GitoQlik so I can reverse the changes that happen. It's going to be a lifesaver.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We absolutely love it. We absolutely love it.
Great stuff. Thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was really good, guys. Thank you very much for everyone who's presented and arrived. It means a lot. And everyone who asked questions as well. Cheers, guys.
Thanks all.
Everybody. Bye-bye.
George and Andrew, I'll just let things just swipe down the chat and stuff saved as well.
You're still recording as well, Brian?
Yes. I think we captured it all now. I'm going to drop the recording now.